And welcome aboard the Part Train. I'm Evan. This is Cerm. This is a brand new series. We're gonna roast my game until I get to a scratch. How's that sound?
I think it's a great idea. This is a new series, guys, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what your first round of the year looks like, and
Yep.
and we're gonna break it down mentally, physically, emotionally, and it's gonna be fun.
I'm taking everybody to Moraga Country Club. The one thing that was working, remember this is before my lesson with Josh, was I was overturning. Like turning as far as I could and then just kind of letting the club go through. So that was the feel that was working at the range. So the bunkers here on the left you see in the Grint GPS here. We love our friends of the Grint. There's bunkers here at about 260. Usually from the blacks, I'd hit like a 3-wood there. So if I hit it straight, I don't go in them. If you hit it to the right, it's a little dog leg up the right. You can cut off more ground. If you miss left of the bunkers, it's a red hazard. Okay? Actually, it might be white.
Great sporty looking first hole. That's what kind of how you describe the course.
Yeah. And I probably should say I hit 2 off the tee. This is the second one I hit.
Oh, breakfast ball.
I had a breakfast ball.
Just before we started, he hits it.
Brett didn't put that in. So we're just showing my second one. I flailed my first one a bit right.
Well,
so what do you do with the second?
Straight left.
Straight left, but it's really wet. It's been raining like crazy. So I ended up right here. This course is soaked. Okay, it's been raining for 4 days straight.
I don't see any standing water.
You'll see it later. In the next shot, you'll see it. So
point is, you hit a little low left kind of runner, but it's wet. You're still in the fairway.
I'm in the fairway. It's fine. Now, this is my least favorite miss and swing in the game. So I got tested early. Okay, now watch if you can tell if I'm just totally not committed to this.
A lot of turf there.
So I'm way right.
Fat,
way short right.
right.
So if you look at this.
Boy, military golf.
Yeah, like look at the impact here. Just you see me try and flip it at the end. Just the ball is all the way out here. Weak right. My least favorite shot.
First hole, we're warming up. Keep it going.
Yeah. So clearly I don't like it.
Up and down for par, no problem.
Now, here's what I've been you'll see a theme today. Josh, my coach, taught me to try and not take it back as far and accelerate more through, because my tendency around the greens was I'm taking big motions and I'm decelerating.
Seen that.
Still trying to figure out how I leverage that pitch chip motion with like the 40-yard, 35-yard distance.
Yeah, it looks like a decent lie here, but kind of going up.
It's lift clean in place because this is soaked.
Wow, country club rules. Looks like you're a little blind on this shot.
Yeah, there's a bunker just in front of this green. And so I'm taking the pitch motion that Josh taught me, and I'm trying to replicate it to the 35, 40-yard shot here. Chunk.
Okay, I could hear it.
Yeah. And now I'm just right by the lip, deep in the bunker.
Okay. Yeah.
Pop it out okay.
Look like good contact there. Not the
I
hardest
pop it
of
out
shots.
okay. I leave myself probably like 6 feet.
Yeah, good shot.
Misread. So what is that?
That looked like a 6.
Is that a double? Yeah, that's a double. Double start. Now, uphill. Let's show you the...
That's a beautiful looking hole.
Yeah, so straight uphill, bunker left.
357.
357. It's 240 to those bunkers on the left. So I think I'm aiming just right of those bunkers. And you'll see me perform a little bit of a Scotty Scheffler here.
Looks like you got a driver.
Did you see that? Yeah, I'm using my father-in-law's pink driver that he won in a raffle. That's the Bubba Watson pink driver. So all I'm focused on here is turning as far back as I can. And I slip and somehow hit the best drive I've ever hit on this hole. Just a smash laser down the middle. Look at me. I'm shook. I couldn't even believe. I'm watching it, an absolute shock that I hit it that well.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Bunker's not even in sight. Well past the bunker. I've got about, I think, 110 in, super elevated. I think I've got a gap wedge here. Hit it perfect.
good motion.
Just turn really far, kind of let it go.
I like the abbreviated finish, always with a short iron. Short iron's low.
Really good putt, just missed it. Really happy with that par. Okay.
So we get off to a bad first hole.
Yeah.
Just double. Never a good moment except for that bunker shot. Second hole, kind of a funny swing. Ripped it. Second shot, committed, hit a nice piercing low, little 2-bounce spinner, and easy 2-putt par.
Yep.
Okay.
Now look at this hole. This is the hole that Tara's parents live on, up here to the right. Okay?
Yeah, that's great. So this looks tight. You got an iron.
That's a hybrid.
Okay.
So
all right. But give some context here, Ev. It's a 408-yard hole. You've got an iron. Okay, I get, but it's tight. But is there some sort of slot? Is it downhill? It looks a little bit like it could be downhill in the end, or
yeah. So this is a tricky hole because their fairway only goes out to 250 from the greens.
got it.
And
So
then
you
it's
can
just
only get it so
downhill
far.
rough. It just goes straight downhill. So you got to play it to this landing area. Anywhere on the right usually kicks back. Left, there's a bunker and OB because of the road. So the miss here is play it to that hill, right center. And if you miss it a little bit right, it should kick down. Obviously, with wet conditions, it might not. But this hole is really intimidating off the tee. It's super narrow. So I have a hybrid. I hit it a little left, but it stays in because it's wet, and I'm in the fairway just right of that bunker. Or just, right of that bunker. So I'm like pleasantly surprised when I come down to this shot. I'm actually starting to, it's funny. You come off a par, you hit another fairway off the tee, right? Me off the tee, usually my Achilles heel. You hit 2 fairways in a row, starting to get a little excited, thinking maybe this overturning thing is working for me, right? Then I chunk it a little bit. You love hearing the moans on video?
Yeah.
So
Well,
how about this? How about
lots of
this
sound
camera angle
effects
that I took?
between the chunks and your reactions. We'll get to this camera angle in a second. It's interesting, Ev. All I hear about you've said so far is how you have a technical thought. You've not once described how to actually play a golf shot.
Right.
So
And that is indicative of entirely how I'm playing this round, by the way.
Right, and maybe we'll get more into that. Like, you've never just once said what's my target, what's my speed, what my club selection was, and I'm committing to this versus that. So, but this doesn't look like a terrible shot. I mean, considering it's a long hole, it's kind of, this is one of those annoyingly target golf holes. Let's be honest. No disrespect to the club, the family club.
Right.
This is one of those holes you have to play. You have to lay up, and it's 408 yards. So
honestly, this
not a
ended
bad
up
shot.
so much better than
Not
what
a
the
bad
shot
shot,
was.
Yeah.
I think I might have hit the path and rolled down. But either way, this is another good example. I'm just thinking about the Josh technique that he taught me. I'm not thinking about landing spot. I'm not thinking about the lie, that it's wet. All I'm thinking about is the shorter back and the longer through.
Came out
Contact's
a little squirrely
okay.
there. And
Comes out
hopefully that breaks
much
right to
farther
left.
right.
Yeah.
So look at that leave.
Not the worst shot, but not the best shot.
Yeah, not great. Blow it
Wait,
past.
what's up with that speed, Ev? Wait a second. Wait a second. Stop the footage. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to jam in a par here when this is a putt statistically you're just not going to make. So what happens here? So you missed the par. Did you roll in that bogey? Do we know? Like, and I think this is actually a very important moment in the round, Ev.
How so?
Well, did you make a bogey or a double?
Make a double.
Or did you make a double? Okay.
Well, wait. One,
So
two down
putting for
there,
par here.
3.
Yeah. You're putting for par. It looks like you hit it by 5 feet. Did they give it to you? Did you have to putt it?
I think the whole time I'm giving myself these. So I probably shouldn't have. You can roast me if you want.
But we'll save the roast for whether you made a bogey or double. To me, what is going on with that putt? No, you got to go back. I know you don't want to talk about it. I know you think. Okay, so you doubled the first hole. You parred the second hole. You get a little lucky on the third hole.
Yeah.
And okay, it's a tough golf hole. This is one of the tougher holes on the course. But you're like, what is going through, if you can go back, what's going through your mind? You're trying to make this par? It looks downhill and you just rammed it by. Like,
honestly, I don't think I'm trying to do anything.
You're thinking less of technique because you're focused on technique with your chipping and your full swing. But like, this is so important because this is where rounds go off the rails.
Well, that's a great point. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just thinking about my stroke. And I've got a putter, this old school Bettinardi I've never used that's really light, and it's like a super blade. I know, but like I haven't putted in so long. I'm just like trying to go through my feel. I'm not looking at the slope. I'm not thinking about speed. I'm not thinking about what this is for. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm kind of like rushing through.
Thinking about score at all?
Not really, because in my mind it doesn't matter. And I think that just shows that I'm just kind of going through the motions and trying not to mess up too much. And that's not a good mindset to be in.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, in a moment like this, again, I don't do this every time, but like, I would be like, that's a tough putt. I got to die this thing. If I make the putt, great, but you just got to take bogey. It's a tough golf hole.
Right. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right. Like it looks like that's a downhill breaking putt. So you've got to stop yourself and be like, and again, the whole point of this episode is leaving the ego at the door, but can you leave your ego at the door when you're actually playing golf? Because there's nothing worse than having to say, you know what? This could be bogey.
Right.
It doesn't mean
So I'm
I
3
can't
over.
read the putt. I can't think the speed, but I think that's a big learning lesson there, Ev.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm 3 over through 4. This whole 4 is another fun one. Yeah, so they took these trees down recently. It's 260. So if I had a 3-wood, you can actually try and carry it over and you'll be up near the hill. What's cool is you can hit it straight, like 213. I've got another hybrid in my hand, carry the bunker at probably 230, and then it goes straight uphill to the right. So I'm aiming over this hill with a hybrid right here.
You got to be able to hit low stingers.
That's funny you say that because I do that on accident.
Yardage on this golf course.
I do that on accident here.
Look like I went a little right. You're leaning.
Yeah, so that's where I ended up.
Good shot.
Yeah, so honestly, exactly where you want to be.
Look at that inside takeaway. Just, but we're not thinking about that. Okay, uphill lie, lost your balance.
Uphill lie, lost balance.
Maybe a touch fat, but not terrible.
Yeah. Fat.
Yeah.
Short fat. Now, here is get your popcorn out.
Well, here we go, guys. Straight up shank.
Look at this.
Oh, it gets worse. Oh, God.
Look at this.
I mean, go back.
I am just off in front of this bunker.
Because we can't quite, we have a side cam here. So you've got to go over this bunker. Where's the pin? How many feet on is
the pin? Is back left. I'm front right. So it's another
tons of room.
Oh, yeah. It's another 30-yard, 25-yard shot, depending if you want to run it or not. And again, wet, rough.
So looks like your weight left. Club face looks a tad open, and you're just trying to pitch and run.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of throw it back there and let it run out a little bit.
Shorter back.
Yes.
Longer throw.
And this one was very puzzling.
And the ball looks not a great lie.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even know how it happened.
Love the laugh. And then in the wet sand, ball gets in the top of the lip, God just punishing you.
Did you hear that? Did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear it, but like I'd see the.
You guys go ahead. Don't
Why
wait
are you
on me.
Why are you saying that?
Just trying to like get out of the way. You know?
That's not a. But your guys are still playing golf, right?
I know.
It's not like you hit 3 in the water.
Okay.
See,
True.
but Ev, seriously, if we're trying to break this stuff down, that is a bad. You're embarrassed. You're disappointed. You're mad. That's not a space you can be. You can't go there.
I know.
It's
And
like,
then
no,
this-
okay.
now it just gets
I
worse.
shanked a chip. I had a buried lie that actually got out of the bunker. It was actually a decent shot. That you actually
Yeah.
got it out of that lie. And you're like, hole's done.
You're right. This is a great example of just throwing your hands up,
Granted,
and giving
I've
up,
been there.
giving up on the hole. Because now I've got this, 20-yard chip and run. I probably have
And
the
it looks
wrong
like you
club.
have a lofted club. I don't know
I have
why.
the wrong club,
Yeah.
and all I'm focused on again is technique of making sure I accelerate through. And what do? Leave it way short.
Look chunky. Look steep.
Chunk it again.
So that's an example of you were so disgusted with what happened in those previous 2 shots. When actually the bunker shot was good, but you're such in a headspace you can't even figure that part out. And then you pull the exact wrong club. I don't care what clubs you're playing or what rental set you have. That looked like a 9-iron kind of shot.
Yeah.
A little sweep brush. Get the ball rolling.
Especially if it's wet.
And you just pulled out exactly. Don't
Yeah.
screw around with the grass. You pull out a 56 and hit something steep and chunk it. Well, anybody else would too.
Right. So now I've got like 25 feet or so.
Just hoping for a 2-putt.
Roll it back there, and I actually 2-putt. It was actually a good 2-putt. Now,
So I mean,
so that was another. Was that a triple?
3, 4, 5. Yeah, it was a triple.
Triple. So now I'm 6 over.
So terrible start. What's going through your head?
The funny thing is normally the bad starts have to do with ball striking, where this is more so about around the greens and decisions and rushing that I'm making.
100%.
And so I think that was like, that's a different frustration that I'm not used to. So I'm like, oh man, even if I'm hitting it well, I'm still making triples. So I'm feeling, but at the same time, I'm trying to brush it off because I'm happy to be out there, but I'm just not in any shot, watch. Here's a downhill par 3, straight downhill, but the holes are cool, right? Every hole's been totally different.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's fun.
130
So-
playing downhill. I think I've got a gap wedge here.
Par 3s are the
Actually, no. I went pitching wedge, and I had to really lay off of it because I'm using Tony's pitching wedge now.
Par
'Cause I
3
didn't think
statistically the toughest golf holes on the course, but downhill 130. This is kind of wheelhouse. We like this to come off a bad hole, but you go pitching wedge downhill lay off.
now I have to lay off of it.
Interesting play because maybe you didn't have the right gap you could hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I baby it.
Right?
Miss it way right.
Yeah.
So now I'm off the green here. Pin high.
So but let's go back to your terminology, Av, right? You said baby it. This is such a misconception. You don't have to baby anything. You can still make an aggressive swing when you choke up and put it back in your stance.
Right.
A little shorter motion. Do you think that's something that's difficult for you because we've talked about this. It does, like on a hole like this, it does feel better when you probably hit it a little harder, when you feel like that. But at the same time, you can be very aggressive with taking more club.
Right.
You just have to choke up, put it back in your stance, and make a little shorter swing.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, it's interesting you say that. You're totally right. But if my only thing that was working on the range, and I'm obsessed with technical swing stuff, is making a full turn, then how do you do that with taking less of a swing? Is it just an abbreviated finish?
Yeah, you could think
And
that
you
way.
choke down?
You still got to put a little back in your stance. You still got to make a turn.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah, so I'm off to the right. And now I've got another long chip, and I think I used the wrong club again.
look like again. Can you zoom into that? Can we do? Is there any? Brett, can we zoom in?
Actually, Brett might be able to zoom in
But yeah,
when we put this together.
Setup. It looks like again. This looks like a 50. I don't know, 50-foot chip uphill. Then it kind of flattens.
Yeah.
And you take a lofted club and try to bump it into the hill instead of if you're gonna take a lofted club, you got to hit it over like.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to carry it farther, like halfway,
and you just
I
now,
chunk it again.
I know what's going on, right? Because with the chipping, you're feeling like you're stuck. I'm trying to go a little shorter and accelerate as opposed to long and decel, but you're like
It's throwing off my
rushed.
whole rhythm, and I
you
feel
look
rushed and stabby.
so quick.
Yes,
all this stuff.
Yes. So that's something that I think I'm going to need to work on because it's hard for me to go short and be smooth.
But it seems short to you, but it's not. But let me see this again. Let me see how far it goes back. Let's see. Yeah.
So now I've got like a 25-footer. And what does your boy do?
He rolls it in.
He buries it.
Good looking stroke. Sticks the finish.
So I make it. That's a par.
I mean, what a great par. I mean, roller coaster, right? There's been moments where you do good things in rounds. I've dealt with this. And you're not even happy. I'm not saying this was you, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
Where, like, I mean, I've had moments where I've hit really amazing shots. And I'm just like, who cares? I already suck.
Right.
Like, was that a moment in time for you? Did you feel like, okay?
I think I was like, it was almost laughable.
Just kind of a laugh, right?
All right, now we've got, so I'm feeling like kind of laughing it off. This is hole 6.
Hole 6.
So I'm 6 over through 5. Right?
You got driver because you can hit driver here and you're excited, but it's a very short hole to hit driver. So let's see what happens.
Well, here's the funny thing. I'm kind of at this point, you go into that mindset of I'm kind of like out of it anyways. So let's just have some fun, which is
Can that be good or can that be bad?
So here's something to point out. Normally, I'm playing up a tee that I normally do, right? So I can't really hit driver straight here because it could go through to this little hazard by the houses. I'm trying to cut the corner.
Risky.
Big turn. That's it.
Setup looks decent.
And the driver was working. Over everything.
It looked like it was kind of a nice pull cut. Yeah, good shot.
Yeah. It was. I've got, I think, like 130 in.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, probably about 135 in. I thin it.
Good balance, but a little skinny. Okay.
Yeah, skinny. Hit it to the back of the green. It was a front flag.
That's a long putt. That's a huge green.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay,
actually hit like
the speeds there.
Decent putt, runs by like 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, good putt.
Now I've got this for par. And this is a frustrating one because it's like I did everything decent and I still come away with bogey.
Well, but
it's a 3-putt.
It was a terrible
yeah.
shot.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's a hard 2-putt. You
Yeah.
got to miss that short and chip it.
Right. Totally. Yeah. So not a good second shot. Obviously thinned it. This is a par 3, 176 yards, water left, bunkers on both sides.
Good hole. Yeah.
Probably my worst swing of the day. Tony just hit it in the houses, by the way, before me.
Okay. He hit a little slice because he's a lefty. Looked like he came over the top.
No, he's a righty.
Oh, okay. Why do I think he's a lefty?
Came over the top. I got quick.
So just hooking hard.
Pull hook. And here I am. Now.
But you found it compared to Tony.
But I found it. Yeah.
And that lie looks great. Who fluffed it up for you?
I did.
Nice.
So here's the tricky thing. If Josh is teaching me short, accelerate through long, but I've got bunkers in front, now I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can play that same thing, but open the face, move it up in my stance, and I just try to have to hit it high. Now I'm like not sure what to do, and I chunk it again. So it's a day of
Yeah,
chunks.
Yeah, because you're just so focused on technique and not trying
Right.
to be athletic and normal.
Right. But in reality,
That
I'm
looked
really
de-
not
that looked-
taking it
that-
back
that looked
shorter.
decent. That looked decent.
Yeah, this was a decent shot, but I'm really not taking it back shorter than I'm taking it through.
Well, no, I mean, like you're trying to get more to where you're supposed to be doing. It just doesn't feel right to you. But at the same time, you're this one stock approach for every single short game shot's not going to work.
Right.
You know? Yeah, it was a good shot. Looked natural. Little right to left uphill.
And just another example
You
of
missed a
giving
lot of
my
putts out to the right. What the hell is this, Ev? Oh, playing hockey out there. But like, just
mailing it in.
like, well, the second putt, but these putts, we've seen this a couple times. You're just like wanting that putt to go in so bad, you just forget about speed. I mean, it's easy to do. I mean, the point of this is you're not the only one, but like, you got to leave the ego at the door.
So
I
was
wanna,
7
you wanna
over
make
after
that putt, and you expect to make that putt up, but my God, you've got to be thinking about like, I can't be trying to hit the back of the hole. I'm trying to play it off the break and pour it in.
Right. So if I made bogey at the par 4, that puts me at 7 over. The par 3, I hit it left, chunk 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if I give myself that,
We'll give
let's
you a
say
5.
a double. So now I'm plus 9.
So look at this, yeah, so not great. So look at this hole. So you've got a 250 par
250.
4.
There's a ditch in front of the green. So 177 to the end of the fairway. I would never hit this shot in a million years if I was actually trying to play for score. I was so frustrated that I'm like, how far is it to that bunker in front of the green? 235. All right, let me see if I can muscle a hybrid. Should have never hit hybrid. I should have borrowed Tony's 3-wood if I actually wanted to go for it. I actually hit a decent hybrid, little thin, but went in the ditch. In the hazard.
yeah.
Just a stupid mental error.
That's more than a ditch, Av. Typically, a ditch is a strip of water. I mean, we've got a rock wall there. It's like it's like a little man-made quarry where like nothing's skipping out of there.
Like, why am I hitting hybrid here? Here's an interesting point.
On the yardage? I mean, like I don't understand.
Well, that's the other thing. I don't have a gun with me. I think I'm rushed. I'm trying to like stay out of the way.
The only thing you do know, it's a 175-yard shot. No, it's not even that. It's 177 yards.
Oh, I could have hit a 150-yard shot
to the end of the fairway. We'll call that a 160-yard shot.
Yeah.
To have an 85-yard perfect yardage wedge in.
Yeah.
But you're so checked out. Just like I'm going to focus on my swing, my
technique.
Know what? I'm working.
You know
on
what
this.
I probably did? You know what I probably did, Cerm? I wonder if people make this mistake. I looked at my iron that I hit on the par 3, the hole before, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if that's what I hit a 7 iron, I'm hitting everything pretty good off the tee. Why don't I just go with what's working? And I go with the hybrid.
That is just not a good way to
But this is what rushed.
But why are you
technical
rush?
focused?
Why? But where does this rush come from?
It's a good question. I don't think I'm
when
really
you play
thinking
bad,
about.
you speed up. We all do
I
that.
speed
Is
up.
that what you're getting at?
Probably, but I don't have the right.
Everybody's having fun. It's 9 holes with the guys and your father-in-law. Beautiful day, right?
Maybe putting down the camera factored into it. I've never recorded every
I'm
shot.
not a camera guy. I don't like doing this stuff.
I know you don't like doing it.
Yeah.
So here I am. Have to go in the drop zone. I'm taking the same motion of shorter through on a 60-yard shot, which I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, it looks kind of a tough shot here. It looked fat.
Hit it a little fat, and now I'm just short. And now, again, all am I focused on is not chunking it. So then what do? You blow it pie.
Yeah.
I mean, this is tough to watch. Most people don't have to go back and watch this
But again,
stuff.
but now go back, Ev. I mean, it's the putts to me. To me, it's just you're just blowing everything by.
Yeah.
Because we have to remember, we can hit really bad shots, right? But if we can at least make a good stroke, even if we
Right.
don't make it, that can give us some calmness going to the next tee.
Right.
But that, Ev, that blowing it by, that just amps you up more, right? Makes you more frustrated.
Right. Totally. Because you're taking silly shot and decisions, and now you're piling on not getting up and downs. You're piling on 3 putts, and that's where you get big numbers, you know?
Right.
So now number
Okay.
9.
This is the grand finale, folks.
Number 9, par
Beautiful
5.
hole.
Par 5 over water. Let's get to the...
468, Ev's on a tee. You know, it's a tough day. Screw it. I'm making eagle here.
That's what I'm thinking. My God. Okay, so 468. Again, I'm not used to playing these tees. So again, because I'm not thinking about where I'm trying to go or what I'm trying to do, aiming out here
What a way
from
to
these
go.
tees, you can't do that. You need to take the line over here because this is a skinny fairway that keeps going a little bit to the right here. Slight dogleg right.
Yeah, so
And
Ev, because how far does it carry those bunkers? Are those in play?
Not from these tees, no.
Okay.
Those
So you're
bunkers
going
are
way
probably
by
like
those
240. 240 from these
So you're
tees.
trying to ideally maybe hit a cut off the left side there.
Yes.
Because the whole
Yeah,
kinda
like
goes
right
away.
here. Yeah.
Well, that's where you want it to end up. But you've got room left, Ev, right?
No, you really don't.
Or does that stuff comes into play? That stuff comes into play. Okay.
Yeah, this short of a tee, it's skinny, it'll run through.
And I will say this: sometimes playing golf courses like this that are very target oriented, shorter tees can be harder because you're just running
Yes.
into trouble,
Yes.
and club selection becomes very premium. So, but
And to your point, you see the yardage, you're like money position. But
yeah.
sometimes it doesn't help you.
you got to take your medicine even more.
So here I am. Big turn, the one club I've hit good all day, and I just hit a straight laser
Yeah, it looked like a good swing. I could see the reaction.
right where straight.
Why do you keep doing that? There you go.
Okay, now I need to
Ah.
clarify this. No.
Look at this.
Nope. This was another situation of being rushed for whatever reason. I'm looking for my ball for 5 to 6 minutes. I can't find it. I'm thinking it has to be in the hazard. So I'm ready to just like drop over here. This guy in my group keeps saying he sees my ball 40 yards back. And I'm like, there's no way that's my ball. Like, I hit that so hard, and I'm from these tees. There's no way it's back there. So I ran back and forth 2 or 3 times. I don't have the right club. At a certain point, I didn't even have a ball. I yelled at Tony, bless you, my father-in-law. I go, just toss me a ball. I'm just going to drop here, like whatever. So I hit a 6-iron because I have no idea how far out I am. And I'm like, I assume I'm probably 6-iron yardage. So I just hit like this really light, weak, flaily to the right 6-iron, right of the green. It ends up being the right distance, but
So
another
how far,
tough.
Yeah. How far is this pitch, and how much room do you have on the green there?
This is probably a 30-yard, 40-yard pitch, maybe 35-yard pitch. I've got a bunker here. The pin's tucked in the front. So
Yeah.
again, I'm playing. Look at it's mid back in my stance, and I'm trying to play the same motion in wet grass that hasn't worked all day, and I'm trying to like start this at the front and let it trickle on. When this needs to be more of a lighter aim towards the middle of the green. Don't even mess with the front of the bunker, right?
Yeah, I mean, 15 feet's a good shot. Oh boy, and that Ev is just way too short, right? Like that
Yeah.
swing needs to be bigger and smoother as you like. Now
Right.
you've just gone so far the other way,
Right.
and
But
when
this is a really
that
thing
takeaway
that
goes inside. You have no chance. Your club's going to get trapped every time.
right. So this is, I think, people go through a lesson, and they think that this is the thing I need to harp on. But if you're only focused on the technique, you're not actually looking at everything around you to be like, well, it doesn't call for that here.
You're not playing golf.
Right. And last putt of the day.
Did he leave it short, please? No way he would. Just smokes
No.
it by again.
No, that's about 2 feet. That was the better putt.
Okay.
It was actually a better putt.
I retract what I say. Did you lose the ball or not? Did you make 5 or did you
I
make
lost
6?
the ball.
Okay.
I lost the ball. So I'm hitting 2 out, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made a bogey.
Not your
So
best
I ended up
stuff,
shooting like, what is that,
considering-
45 or so?
I don't know what the par is, but yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
45 or 46. I mean, considering your first round, but like...
But it's look at how mental that round was, though. Rushing, all focused on technicality, not thinking about anything around me, not making any adjustments around the greens. And it's just, those are those rounds I think that we black out on. And it turns out, and you get down on yourself. You think, oh, well, I'm not playing for score anymore. Might as well hit driver. But it's like, yeah, but if you're still going to be mad about making a double, I don't think that statement makes any sense.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be more happy with a par and hitting an iron?
Yeah.
Depends what you want to do, But I think this is a perfect example of like what I'm going to try and stop doing, where I speed up, I get caught up in technique, and I lose sight of everything else that I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the big things for you is you're not, you take a lesson, you learn something, but like, how do I take it to the golf course, right?
Yeah.
And it's a thought, it's a rehearsal, but it's not, it can't overcome you like it did in this round.
Right.
Because you're trying golf, you're not playing golf. So
yeah, we'll see what episode 2 brings, but I think this is
tricky little course. It's good to see it, and you've talked a lot about it before. I've seen, to see it kind of live is.
It's a cool course, though.
And I can see where you get in trouble.
Yeah.
This golf course is actually one of those courses that can mentally frustrate people.
Well, right, because you guys
it's
once
short. It's like it makes you play it a certain way. You have to have a level of discipline and patience. Ev, if you can figure out this course, you'll be able to figure out a lot. But I get it.
Yeah, you're right.
I totally get it.
Yeah, you're right.
So you just look. Bottom line is this: see what happens. Or forget this round, but what you can't forget is like I can't be this technical.
Yeah, so that's why I'm excited about my latest lesson to just focus on less technical things, start to get some work in, and then play the golf course, and slow down. I think when I rush, you asked the best question, and then we'll close it out here, and maybe there's only room to go up from here in episode 2, but what you said really sums it up. You said, wait a second. Why are you rushing? There's no reason to rush. Right? And so that's a huge thing. I think everybody needs to realize from this one.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Chalk it up.
All right. Well, that was fun.
The
Glad to finally give you visuals.
8-0 episode coming to you live from the Bay Area. Evan Singer on his journey to be a scratch golfer, but some may say
we're a bit farther away.
Got to get to 7.9 before you get to 0.0.
Yeah, seems pretty far away right now, but we'll get there. All right, guys, thanks as always for hopping aboard. No matter how quick you're moving out there or how high right you hit it, what do they got to do, Cerm?
Just keep enjoying the ride.
Enjoy the ride, guys.